Most people think happiness is something you find someday, like it's hidden inside more money, better relationships, a different body, a different city, a different version of life. So they keep chasing it. They tell themselves, I'll finally feel happy when things calm down, when I become more successful, when I fix myself, when life becomes easier. But here's the strange part. Some people already have everything they thought would make them happy, and they're still exhausted, irritated, emotionally drained, constantly overwhelmed by life. Meanwhile, other people with ordinary lives seem genuinely peaceful. Not perfect, not smiling 24/7, just lighter, more stable, more alive. Because happiness isn't usually created by massive life changes. It's built through small daily patterns that quietly shape your mind over time. The happiest people aren't lucky all the time. They just protect their mental environment differently. And once you notice these habits, you realize happiness isn't random at all. Habit 1. They protect the first moments of the day. Most people wake up and immediately hand their brain over to the internet. Before their eyes are even fully open, they're already absorbing notifications, messages, bad news, opinions, expectations, comparisons, stress. Their nervous system enters reaction mode before the day has even started. And then they wonder why they feel mentally scattered by 9 a.m. But happy people create space before the world enters their mind, even if it's only 10 minutes. No scrolling, no emails, no chaos. Just silence, movement, sunlight, coffee, breathing, thinking, existing. Because the first moments of the morning set the emotional tone for everything that follows. A reactive morning creates a reactive brain. You become mentally available to everyone before you've even connected with yourself. And the problem isn't just distraction, it's emotional fragmentation. Your brain was not designed to wake up into 500 people's thoughts instantly. Happier people understand this instinctively. They let their mind wake up slowly before exposing it to noise. And that single habit creates a completely different emotional rhythm throughout the day. Habit 2. They don't emotionally attach to every inconvenience. Most people lose entire days to tiny moments. A rude comment, a delayed message, traffic, an awkward interaction, a mistake, something not going according to plan. And mentally they keep reopening it over and over again, replaying, analyzing, interpreting, personalizing. By the end of the day, their brain is exhausted not because life was terrible, but because they mentally carried every small frustration like emotional luggage. Happy people still experience annoyance. They just recover faster. They don't build emotional homes inside temporary problems because they understand something most people never realize. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every feeling deserves a storyline. Not every inconvenience deserves emotional permanence. Some things are meant to pass through you, not live inside you. And the ability to emotionally release small frustrations quickly is one of the strongest predictors of daily peace. Because happiness is less about adding constant pleasure and more about reducing unnecessary mental weight. Habit 3. They intentionally create things to look forward to. A huge number of people live entirely inside obligation. Wake up, work, study, reply, repeat. Every day becomes maintenance mode. And eventually life starts feeling emotionally flat, even if nothing is technically wrong. Happy people interrupt that cycle deliberately. They place small moments of anticipation into their life constantly. Not huge life-changing events, tiny meaningful ones. A favorite coffee, a nighttime walk, watching a movie, reading, seeing someone they love, cooking something good, listening to music alone, going somewhere peaceful. These moments seem small from the outside, but psychologically they matter deeply, because the human brain is future-oriented. Your mind is constantly scanning ahead emotionally, and when there's nothing ahead that feels meaningful, your nervous system slowly loses energy. Life starts feeling repetitive, heavy, emotionally gray, but anticipation creates momentum. Even tiny moments of joy pull the brain forward. That's why sometimes a difficult week feels easier, simply because you know something good is waiting at the end of it. Happy people don't wait for happiness to appear randomly. They plant small emotional anchors throughout their life intentionally. Habit 4. They reduce comparison instead of forcing positivity. Most people try to fight insecurity with fake confidence. They repeat motivational quotes, pretend not to care, force positivity. But deep down, comparison keeps eating at them constantly. someone is more successful, more attractive, more productive, more disciplined, more ahead in life. And social media magnifies this endlessly. Happy people don't necessarily feel more confident than everyone else. They simply protect themselves from unnecessary comparison. They understand that constant exposure shapes emotional reality. If your brain consumes hundreds of curated lives every day, eventually your own life starts feeling emotionally insufficient, no matter how good it actually is. So instead of obsessively monitoring everyone else's progress, happy people redirect attention back toward what they can actually control: their own routines, their own relationships, their own goals, their own growth. Because happiness cannot survive inside constant comparison. Comparison trains the brain to notice absence instead of presence, and eventually nothing feels enough anymore. Happy people don't magically stop comparing themselves, they just stop feeding the habit. Habit 5, they move their body consistently, not because they worship productivity, not because they're trying to become perfect, not because they're obsessed with appearance, because movement changes emotional state. And most people underestimate how physical mental health actually is. When you stay mentally stressed and physically stagnant long enough, your nervous system starts holding tension constantly. Your thoughts become heavier, your energy slows down, everything feels harder than it should. Happy people understand that movement is emotional maintenance. Walking, stretching, running, gym, sports, anything. Movement interrupts mental stagnation. It resets the nervous system, reduces stress hormones, improves focus, clears emotional buildup. And maybe most importantly, it reconnects you to your body instead of trapping you inside your thoughts all day. A stagnant body often creates a stagnant emotional state. That's why even small movement can completely change how a day feels. Not instantly, but consistently. Habit 6. They protect their attention carefully. Modern life is built to destroy attention. Everything competes for it. Apps, videos, notifications, drama, content, opinions, arguments, endless stimulation. And most people allow random information to enter their brain all day without questioning what it's doing to them emotionally. Happy people are more selective, not because they're disconnected from reality, because they understand attention shapes identity. Whatever consistently holds your attention eventually shapes your emotional baseline. If your attention constantly lives inside outrage, comparison, negativity, chaos, overstimulation, your mind slowly adapts to that emotional environment, and eventually peace starts feeling unnatural. Happy people intentionally reduce mental clutter. They don't react to everything. They don't consume endlessly. They don't treat every opinion as emotionally urgent, because attention is energy, and scattered attention creates scattered emotions. Your mental state is heavily influenced by what repeatedly enters your mind, which means happiness is not only built through what you do, it's also built through what you stop allowing access to your mind. Habit 7, they mentally close the day instead of carrying it into the night. Most people end the day physically exhausted, but mentally unfinished. The body is in bed. The mind is still replaying everything: conversations, mistakes, plans, stress, tomorrow's problems, unfinished tasks. The nervous system never fully exits performance mode, and over time, this creates constant low-level mental exhaustion. Happy people create some form of emotional closure before sleep. Sometimes it's journaling, sometimes reflection, sometimes prayer, sometimes simply sitting quietly and mentally letting the day end. But they don't drag the emotional weight of the entire day into tomorrow unconsciously, because the brain needs completion. Without closure, stress loops stay open, and open mental loops quietly drain emotional energy over time. Rest is not just physical, it's psychological, and people who never mentally stop eventually forget what real calm feels like. Final thoughts. Most people think happiness arrives after life finally becomes perfect. But happiness usually appears long before perfection does. It's built through ordinary moments handled differently. How you start the morning, what you give attention to, what you release quickly, what you repeatedly consume, how you treat your body, what you mentally carry, what you allow yourself to anticipate. Small habits seem insignificant while they're happening, but repeated daily, they slowly shape the emotional atmosphere of your entire life. And eventually, happiness stops feeling like a rare emotion you accidentally experience once in a while. It starts feeling like the natural result of how you live.